Hello my dudes, welcome back to the channel. I hope everything is good with you. I know everything is good with me. Today's video is going to be kind of shorter than the other ones because instead of doing all of the tier 1 machines, I'm going to tackle one machine per video so that they're easier for me to edit and easier for you guys to watch. With that said, let us begin. Today, we're going to be hacking into Appointment. As with all of these, the first thing we got to do is cd into downloads, see if my VPN is still there. It is, and then we're going to connect to it using this command, open VPN, then the name of the VPN file that you're going to be using to connect to it. Once you connect, you get the 120 at the bottom, you're good to go. I'm going to make a new tab by hitting Ctrl-Shift-T. It doesn't matter if it's spawned, let's just get on with the questions. So, question number 1, what is the acronym? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Question number 1, what does the acronym SQL stand for? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Structured Query Language is just the language in which you speak to a database. So when you're communicating with MySQL, you'll be like, select asterisk, so select everything from table X where certain conditions are met. You've probably seen it before, it's very famous. If you've gotten this far with setting up Kali and doing the HackTheBox machines, you've probably encountered it. So there you go. Very commonly used in web applications where the actual application wants to talk to a database and get some data from it. It is going to communicate using structured query language. Second question. What is one of the most common type of SQL vulnerabilities, SQL vulnerabilities? The answer to this one is SQL injection. SQL injection is where a web application takes some kind of input from the user, doesn't sanitize or validate it correctly, and then passes that straight to the database. So when you're logging into a website, for example, the web application is going to send a SQL query to the database that has everyone's username and password in it. And it's going to be like, select asterisk from the users table where username is equal to username and password is equal to password, and then the username and password will be the ones you supplied. But if for some reason the application doesn't correctly escape the data you give it when you're signing in, you can add your own SQL to that query. So where it says your username, you could use the end of the line marker for SQL, which is a semicolon, and then you could add your own SQL query afterwards. So say you wanted to log in as the admin, you could do, you could set your username to admin and then a semicolon followed by the comment character. So, some databases it's a hashtag, some databases it's 2 hyphens, space, and then another hyphen. Then your query will look something like select star from the users table where username is admin. And then the rest of the line will be commented out, so your session will be that of an admin. But anyway, I digress. The answer to that one is SQL injection. Very nice. Question number 3. What is the 2021 OWASP top 10 classification for this vulnerability? Don't know. Let's Google it. 2021 OWASP top 10 classification SQL injection. Here we go. This should be easy to find. OWASP top 10 2021. Search for injection. Is SQL injection specifically in here? Maybe it's just this one. A03 2021-injection, as we found here. So literally all I did to find the answer to that one was just Google 2021 OWASP top 10 classification SQL injection. Clicked on the OWASP website. First thing that comes up is this. Scroll down. I just searched for injection because I'm blind. But there you go, there you have it, injection. Very nice. Okay, so question number 4. What does Nmap report as the service and version that are running on port 80 of the target? I think I still have a box. Yep, I still have this and a flag from a previous box we did. So every time I do a new box on HackTheBox, I create this directory on my file system and I just call it box because sometimes for these boxes you have to download files, maybe you dump a database, maybe you download something from a web application. It gets messy, so I like to put everything in this folder so that once I'm done with the box, I can just RMR the box and it's gone. Don't have to worry about cleaning up after myself too much. I actually forgot the question because I was yapping so hard. But what does Nmap report as the service and version that are running on port 80 of the target? So Nmap, the IP address -P80, and then what do we need to find? The service version. So -SV, like that, easy. And I'm impatient, so I'm also going to do -T4 to speed things up. I've covered how all of these commands work in the previous video, so I'm not going to go into great detail explaining everything in this one. Nmap scan is finished. What we have is Apache 2.4.38 running on port 80, very nice. So that will be your answer for question 4. What is the standard port used for the HTTPS protocol? If you've done tier 1 of the starting point machines, you know this. It is 443. Question number 6. What is a folder called in web application terminology? Once again, if you have done tier 0, you know this. We've covered it. We've seen it. You know how to search for them. The answer is directory. Sorry, I'm just scratching my leg. Ooh. Question number 7. What is the HTTP response code given for not found errors? Even if you're not a cybersecurity guy, you have probably come across this at some point, because it is what you see when you search for something that does not exist on a website. If you go to a wrong page, click a dead link, then you have come across this, and it is 404. 404 not found. Very famous one there. Question number 8. We got more special tools. GoBuster is one tool used to brute force directories on a web server. What switch do we use with GoBuster to specify that we're looking to discover directories and not subdomains? With this one, the clue is kind of in the question. So we've covered it before. Maybe it's not super obvious, but I will just give you the answer. If you didn't know this, you could definitely Google it and it would tell you straight away. Or you could check the man page or help menu of GoBuster and it would also tell you. The answer is dir. Dir? Why did I say that so weird? Dir? Direct, like D-I-R. Dir. There you go. Very nice. Moving on. Aha. Here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to use GoBuster because it's seeming like at this point we need to have something to SQL inject into some kind of page on the server. So we need to go find it. First of all, let's do a proper Nmap scan because based on that question... Oh, no, only port 80 is open. They're just... they're giving you a red herring, showing that you know HTTPS runs on port 443 despite it not being open on the box. Doesn't matter. Let's go and check out the website in case there's like an interesting Easter egg. Oh, okay. So I guess we don't really need to use GoBuster because we're straight on the login page. Maybe there's another login page, but we're also going to keep this one here just in case. So I'm now going to run GoBuster dir. Here we go. Very nice. Maybe it's... Nope. Okay. How do I use this again? GoBuster... This is why I'm making these videos, because I keep forgetting how to do basic things. Usually I use Buster, which is a bit of a cheat, but we're gonna do it the way that they have said to do it, just because. So we're gonna go GoBuster dir, and let me check. It's -u and then -w for the word list. Okay, so -u, then our IP address, -w, then we've got to go find a word list. Word lists are in user share word lists, and then you kind of got to figure out what you want from there. You can just use any of them. I tend to use this one because it's served me well on many pen tests and CTFs alike. Just personal preference, you can use whichever one you want, doesn't really matter. Now I'm gonna have a drink of water because I've been yapping this time. Yapping. Some good water, it's so fresh out of one of these, man. Girlfriend gave me a hydro flask, so happy. It seems like we're not finding anything interesting, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that they want us to SQL inject into here. But first, let's answer the questions. What single character can be used to comment out the rest of a line in MySQL? For this, you have to have some knowledge of SQL as a language. I don't really know if it counts as a programming language. I think it counts as a programming language, and you're on my channel. So SQL is a programming language. But what single character can be used to comment out the rest of a line? That is the hashtag. Or if you're old, then it is the £. It is this one. That character. Question number 10. We're getting into the actual SQL injection part of it now. If user input is not handled carefully, it could be interpreted as a comment. Use a comment to log in as the admin without knowing the password. What is the first word on the web page returned? We are going to go to the login page. Based on what I said earlier, we know that when you're logging into a web application such as this one, SQL query being used by the server that's going to the database is likely going to be something like select asterisk from the users table where username equals whatever we put into the username section and password equals whatever we put into the password section. If there's not proper sanitization of the input, what we can do is we can set our username to admin hashtag and then the rest of the query will be commented out. It's just going to read select asterisk from user table where username equals admin, no password. Nothing else after that. I missed something there, so we're most likely going to have to also put a semicolon because that is the the thing that marks the end of a query in SQL, in MySQL. So I'm guessing that if we put that as as our username and then put in a random password, I just spammed my keyboard there, we're probably going to get in. And we don't. So that is something I completely forgot there. I was right in saying that our input is being passed directly to the SQL query without being sanitized or anything. But what I missed was, not only do you need a semicolon, but you also need to end the input box for that section of the SQL query, if that makes sense. In the SQL query, it's going to say like where username equals, and then it's going to have a single quote, and then it's going to be your input, and then it's going to have another single quote. But you need to supply that second single quote if you're going to comment out the rest of the line. So by putting our name as admin, single quote, semicolon, and then commenting out the rest of the line, the SQL query still makes sense, and we get in with the query still making sense. I hope that makes sense. I kind of waffled a little bit there, but you should get the idea. And with that, you're in. You can see here that the answer to the question we just saw is congratulations. That is the first line on the web page, and then after that is the flag, which I need to remember to cover this time, because last time I leaked a couple of flags. Very naughty of me, but I'm not going to do it this time. I hope this tutorial was useful. I hope you learned a thing or two, and I will see you in the next one.